Hello out there in TV land, it's your enemy and mine, Eric Vaughn. And I've got a few things actually one thing I'm going to discuss. I'd say happy holidays to you, but you all seem to be a pretty fucking miserable bunch around here, so just do with it as you may. As you can tell, I got a Christmas tree, Yule tree, it's half lit because, what the fuck. We'll get to that later. These things happen. So today, it's the gift-giving season, as they say, and what gift is better than the gift of black metal? I'm going to talk today about a book called The Death Archives. Get a look at that. There you go. This book is one of the biggest pleasant surprises of the last year for me. Of course, with all the activities in the world, I've been reading a lot more, which has been fun, but it's very hard to find good, reliable books on the topic of black metal, and especially Mayhem being my other favorite band than Black Sabbath, that aren't just total fucking soap opera nonsense and self-posturing situations where a band will use a book or a film or some other avenue to sell their product and themselves and their own mythology and believing in their own bullshit. Necro Butcher wrote an incredibly wonderful book with this, as it's filled with all the facts, the history of the band, and all these details that are actually relevant to how Mayhem came to be, and the situation in Norway at the time that actually is a little more relatable than all of the political nonsense that often is associated with black metal. He paints a real picture of a metal scene that is very distant from the rest of the world, yet still very interested in being a part of what became extreme heavy metal. I find that the book had a lot of facts of things I didn't know, and I consider myself pretty much a Mayhem, completist in every way. I own almost every recording ever made, variants on everything. I'm one of those idiots who goes out and buys anything that Mayhem puts their name on, to my detriment sometimes, but sometimes to the betterment of my life, and this is very much one of those times. This book is so much better than, say, a Lords of Chaos. The book itself, it was interesting 20 years ago, maybe. If it was, I forget the date it was released, but I remember I had that when I was much younger, and it isn't really a reliable tome in the long run as far as actual music. I mean, the first part has some interesting things about music that nobody knew then, but everybody now is far more privy to, especially in the age of the internet. This book, on the other hand, actually reads like a book about a band and music. The drama, the soap opera, is left very much on the floor. There's only a few references to it. I think Necro Butcher puts a very human and realistic touch on a situation that has often been blown into a fantasy for a lot of maladjusted young men to hang their hats on, instead of focusing on what is most important, and that's the music. And let's get to that fact. Black metal would not have been anywhere as important had it not been for the strength of the fucking music. All of the church burnings, the chaos, the drama, none of that would have mattered had the music not been so absolutely on point. That's what it is. This is about music. And here we have a book that focuses on music. Sure, did Mayhem have amazing theatrics in the way that it was actually terrifying to most people? Yes. Does this book focus on that? Absolutely not. I mean, you can tell that there's some tension with some past topics, as is a very human thing, but it's a very real book, and out of all the books on black metal and all the histories, I find that this book actually brings the story of Mayhem to a relatable and realistic light. Also to note that Necro Butcher, to his fucking credit, put together an awesome archive of things. Of course, it is called The Death Archives, but the amount of pictures, for a Mayhem junkie like me who wants to know all of these past circumstances and understand these old atmospheres, these pictures alone are worth the price. I have the soft shell book here, not the hardcover yet. I mean, just coming out of the pandemic, the hardcover is a bit of an investment. That'll be the next, because that's going to be on the coffee table next to Tom G. Warrior's book. So here we go. Let me show you some things. I don't want to give this all away because, you should go to the link that I'm going to post in the thing and buy the book. But here you go. Look at this layout. I mean, everything in this book is fucking top notch. I'm so glad he would, despite the tumultuous history of the band, that Necro Butcher kept all this, because these are the kind of things left to time and space that you're just never going to experience. You're never going to get to see this shit anywhere else but this book. I'm absolutely stunned by the quality of this. The publisher, Thurston Moore, actually wrote the foreword, which is interesting. Big Sonic Youth fan, so cool. Unexpected, but awesome. Yeah, I mean, the writing is compelling. It's very human. I mean, it has the obvious storytelling bias, maybe, of somebody who was, but I don't find it very biased at all. I'm just saying that, you're hearing one man's perspective on the story, but I think it's a very honest and it's a very human perspective, which is so much more compelling to me at this point than the blood and guts drama that's associated with black metal. As I get older, here we go. Here's another. I think this is absolutely amazing. This kind of stuff is the stuff that I'm most fascinated in seeing at this point. As I said, as I get older, the drama that made black metal so maybe exciting to the media is not as exciting to me. The music is everything. And the atmosphere of early Mayhem is absolutely frantic and terrifying. And maybe it was on key, maybe it was off key. It doesn't matter. Death Crush, grinding, horrifying, shrieking, beautiful fucking record. I don't care. A lot of people like to shit on it now because it's popular to do so. But this book covers the creation of Death Crush and how it all came together. And I loved reading every bit of it. 10 out of 10. This book is a 10 out of 10. If you're a black metal fan, especially a Mayhem fan, you need this fucking book. It's as simple as that. I love the way Necro Butcher frames things. I'm not bothered by the fact that it doesn't cover a lot of the drama. In fact, I think he's far more human and real about it than any of the other history, because other people, I think, always want to sell their own story based on events. And for those of us who weren't there, or those of us who maybe were brought in by that, that's a continued bad habit of many, I think, involved in black metal, is to want to delve into the more arcane part of the story when the music should always be the focus, as the records are what are going to live forever. We're all going to be dead in the next 100 years, but the records will live on and future generations will find those. And I do believe that this book will help people find the actual fucking music. And that's what's important. And the importance of the music in the book is what really impressed me about it. I really felt like I could follow the journey to what made Mayhem a musical unit to be reckoned with, outside of the noise and the story that we all see from the films and the dramas that I think most people have grown out of, that aren't 22 years old and very angry. I mean, the shit changes. We all change. I mean, I'm an old man now. They're probably older. And this book is a great testament to a time that changed everything. I mean, without Mayhem, a whole musical subgenre, whatever, wouldn't exist. I mean, De Mysteriis Dom Satanis is one of the most important records ever in my life. It's Black Sabbath, De Mysteriis Dom Satanis. Those are the two fucking records that shaped so much of my songwriting. I mean, I like a lot of other things. I mean, I share a love of electronic music. I like classic rock and roll at this point. I mean, maybe that's part of getting old, but you try new things and new flavors. But not that it was ever new. I was a punk kid starting out. So Mayhem straddled so many ideas. This book covers so many questions that you may want answered. And it's kind of funny because I find that Necro Butcher has a very candid and calm way of writing, which doesn't come across in like the Mayhem persona. And I think that's one of the best parts of this book, is that it's such a human and almost emotional read at times. I mean, you can tell that there's a lot of things that maybe weren't something that anybody would want to talk about, but the time is taken to address. This is a book review, and I'm going to say, Drop your Lords of Chaos copies. Stop the drama. Stop watching stupid movies. Pick this fucking book up. Read it 10 times. Get the hardcover if you can afford it. It's a great coffee table book. Take a look. There you go. There you go. Fucking awesome. It's December. The Yule is coming. Enjoy the Yule. Have some whiskey. I know I will. And till next time. Yeah. Oh, there it is. I got a new camera